Evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. The Frederick man accused of murdering his family is making it very clear that he plans to fight this case tooth and nail. Just today, we've had 3 new developments. For one, the court again ruled against Chris Watts' request to have law enforcement investigated over leaks to the media.
Watts also claims he cannot take a position on the DA's decision to not release the coroner's reports to the public because Watts' legal team hasn't seen them yet. And finally, Watts says he does not believe the prosecution has established enough probable cause to justify collecting his footprints. And that is in line with his other demands that the DA's office not be allowed to collect his DNA. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski spoke with a DNA expert today and picks up the story from here. Jen?
Shannon and Ann, here's what I found really interesting. This expert says that the sensitivity of DNA testing nowadays is very powerful, but usually when the suspect is a stranger, not a family member.
In many criminal cases, DNA plays an important role.
Philip Danielson is one of the leading DNA experts in the state. A professor at DU, he's testified in dozens of criminal cases.
The DNA testing methods that we have are able to detect the tiniest of trace quantities.
He says, even though the girls' bodies were submerged in oil tanks, there may still be trace DNA.
Because strangulation involves force, that can increase the amount of skin cells.
If they were strangled, as the defense has suggested in previous motions, Danielson says there is likely DNA around the neck. But interpreting that DNA is where this could get tricky.
Persons of interest are all people who cohabitated and therefore would be sharing their DNA with each other. And that is going to make this a challenging case.
Prosecutors want a judge to force Christopher Watts to hand over his fingerprints, cheek swabs, and handprints. But the defense is demanding prosecutors give them probable cause.
Don't just tell us you've got stuff that you've sent to CBI. What do you have? And did you actually get any results from it?
Which is required by law to obtain DNA. In other words, show us what you have to compare Watts' DNA to.
DNA testing and other physical evidence testing is certainly very important. It's a very important part of any criminal proceeding. But equally important is process.
This is a potential death penalty case, so both sides are being extra careful. That's what Danielson says we are seeing play out with the back and forth in court. We are still waiting for the judge to rule on the DNA. I'm Jennifer Kovaleski for Denver 7.
Jen, thank you. And we know there's a lot